Wish I had more details. Raheem Skadimes. But look out for Denver to make a move soon. Trade rumors. Blackmon to the Jaguars. Hard to understand why the Broncos would give up a player of his talent. Rumors. Love Division by Travis Etienne Jr. You can't teach that. You see that boy balling, right? Not going to get a lot of points from the Titans defense this week. Travis Etienne Jr. just ripped off another big run. Jaguars defense with the dominating performance in the victory over Tennessee, forcing 4 turnovers. Vikings and Falcons, let's go. You know what I'm talking about? Nobody on the Saints could stay with Deion Jones. The Lions, true story. I met DeAndre Swift when he was 20 years old. Great guy. Man, wish I played with DeAndre Swift. He's a beast. The defense went in silence the crowd with turnovers after turnover. Detroit over New Orleans. Jamar Chase has his footwork and his mind in the right place today. Aaron Herrera was impossibly good for the Bengals this week. No other way to say it. AJ Solari was diagnosing coverages so well today. That's why he was so successful. Yeah, I hear you. Watching Dr. Doolittle rack up a ton of yards so far in this game. Such an incredible game by DeAndre Hopkins. Turn on the Eagles game. You have to see the day Deshaun Watson is having. Deshaun is back. Let me find out. What are the Patriots doing out there? They're going to lose this game. Great week for J.K. Dobbins, but he went against a defense that just didn't show up. Terry McLaurin would have been a smart play in fantasy leagues this week. Tremendous stuff from Terry McLaurin this week. Football team. Break out the chicken wings, chips, and the guac, because this is going to be good. Chicago versus the Baltimore Ravens. The Lamar Jackson-less Ravens. I'm sure the Broncos will be happy to have Ronald Jones. The Buccaneers will be happy to have Ronald Jones second back in the lineup this week. I know they will. If I'm coaching a football team, I jump on them early, take the lead on the roll, and never look back. Been waiting for this Bears and Ravens game. I bet wide receiver Cooper Kupp has been scooped up by the Raiders. A one-year deal ties the parties together. Excuse me, Racine, I can't read, but the font is terrible when you're doing your broadcasting. They get very little, and you can't see what the hell is going on. What's going on, fellas? AntHits, the franchise guru. If you're tuned in or not tuned in, please hit that like button. Let us know you support what we got going on. Real Talk Show, Season 3, Episode 3 at that, too. And we're here, baby. Let's get to it right now. The throne race. Bottom line, yesterday we left off with talking about those divisions and guys who are doing what, when, where, and how when it comes down to what they're doing on their side. So we're still going to continue that debate when it comes down to the NFC conference and the AFC conference, and those guys that are on the forefront of the race on their way to sitting on that throne, chasing the throne again. Right now the NFC has won the first 2 Super Bowls in our league. Right now it looks like the NFC side is kind of dominating the AFC side right now, and if you really look at the big picture of things. But again, at face value, you could take it for what you want to take it for, but we're here right now. We have one only undefeated team, 2 of them, I'm sorry, but I'm going to go by the race. So even though I'm making it where you can see the team's records, win by losses first, you'll see what position they really are in. So the Giants still hold the first seed, 6-0 right now, and football played through 7 weeks. Buccaneers are 6-0 too, so they're the last 2 remaining undefeated teams, the New York Giants and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Both these teams are playing at a high level right now. Both of them are still undefeated. Both of them playing good offense and good defense. The Lions are the 4th seed at 6-1. They're playing really good football as well. The football team is the 8th seed. Football team at 6-1 are the 8th seed. You know that will change as we advance. Broncos are sitting at 5-1 at the number 2 seed right now. The Ravens are 5-1 at the 5 seed. Bears are 5-1 at the 6 seed. These 2 teams play 5-6. Dolphins are sitting at 7 seed, 5-2. Niners are the 9th seed, 4-2, and our 10th seed are the Panthers, 4-2. So they're your top 10 BCS kids on the boulevard right now doing what they do. You heard? Keep going. Yesterday we started off with the NFC East. We had a really good discussion about these teams over here. Then we went to the West, said it was really a one-man show, but I think 4-2 and 4-2 shows different right now. And the 49ers are in 9th place at 4-2, and the Cardinals are 4-2 sitting at 12. So I do think we have a 2-man race over here. Show Guns, is it time for us to backtrack a little bit, or are you still sticking by your guns and saying, hell no, it's a one-man race?
One-man race.
Alright.
Sticking to his guns.
Show Gun sticking to his guns, huh? One-man race, as you heard that man right now, where the 49ers are playing better football. Whether it's him playing better football or guys that are not playing and he's getting wins, whatever the case may be, they're 4-2 right now, and they pose a threat as long as they're on top of their game, they can, they're in a good situation right now. At the 6 games played, they are 4-2. Them and the Cardinals. When you slide back, we talked about the NFC North, and we said right now there's a two-team race between the Lions and the Bears. With the Vikings are 0-5, but that's not a real 0-5 for them. They're going. Hopefully, they change went to their formation subs, or even just play with a regular team playbook for right now, or come holler at me, come get a playbook. Just to better change some things up to stop the games from dropping, because it's either that or formation subs are your issue. I don't think it's an internet thing over there, but until they get that fixed, they are out of the mix along with the Packers. I don't know how many teams are winless right now, but we see 2 right now: 0-5 Vikes, 0-6 Packers right now in the NFC North. And then the one division we didn't talk about was the NFC South right now. When you got the Buccaneers 6-0, the 3rd seed right now, they will jump to the number 2 or 1 seed when we advance. The Panthers are at 4-2, and we know the Saints are sitting at 2-5, but we like the way the Saints are playing right now. They got a very young team, did a really good job in the first 2 draft classes, and they really got some guys that's playing at a high level right now, and that's really playing, at the receiver position. They got 2 of them over there, and the tight end. They got 3 really good weapons for their young quarterback to fling that thing around to right now, and they're doing a good job of that. So that's the whole NFC side of things. At the end of the day, we talked about that. Now we'll stay here and stay in the NFC. Alright, so show guns, man. When we talk about the NFC, right? And we talk about those teams that let me I shouldn't have exited out of there. I want to get back. Let me get back to that. Let's go to the NFC. Let's do it this way. Alright, so in the NFC, we got 2 undefeated teams. We got 3 teams with 1 loss. And we got 3 teams with 2 losses. Looks like 2 teams with 2 losses. And some teams, 3 teams. The Cardinals are down here too. So let me take a look at this. Alright, I see it now. Alright, so when we look at the NFC right now, right, and you look at the race that's going on over here, who's going to be the final 7 that's going to push that we think that, will be at the dance when it comes down to it. Again, as you look at it, they're the only 2. The NFC side has the only undefeated teams over there. And again, they got 3 guys over here with only 1 loss. And they got 3 guys over here with 2 losses, and some guys at a game above 500 at 4-3. That played their week 6 or 7 game already. So guns, let's talk, bro. The NFC. We're gonna talk about the race over here, man. So I'll ask you. Let's go with question number 1 right now, man. Who do you like coming out of the NFC this year? Who has the early looks the best the earliest?
I mean, let's just keep it plain and simple. I mean, the records right now tell the whole story.
Right.
The NFC, I don't see a lot of guys over there, missing games. So these guys are playing each other, and I hope that if the 49ers come back and look at this broadcast, he remembers what I said last night. It's no disrespect. I think that the team is not where he wants it to be, but I expect that Niners seem to be the way he wants to play next season. And I did take a peek at his schedule. He does have a favorable schedule, but he also has a schedule where he's playing some guys where he can get picked off here and there. He still has to play the Cardinals twice. He's got the Giants on the schedule. He's got the Bengals on the schedule. Just little teams in there. He's got Lions on the schedule, so it's tough. And then he has some guys, he has a few games here and there where the guys are either not playing or he should be able to beat them right now. So I think right now the NFC, in the words of Dennis Green, they are who we thought they were. Just looking at the records.
Right. When it comes down to the Giants and the Bucks, and you look at their record undefeated, I think the race, I will go here. Giants, Bucks, Bears, Cardinals are still in the mix, although they're down here at 12 right now on their side. He's still in the mix at 4-2. When you look at these teams, when it comes down to who will get that bye week 1, it's going to be super important. But I think those are the teams that have the legitimate shot of having the first seed in the first round bye throughout and home field throughout the playoffs when it comes down to the Giants and the Bucks. So let's talk about it right now. The Bucks are 6-0. And the Bucks have beaten the Cardinals out of those 3 teams I'm talking about. So the Bucks have beaten the Cardinals, but the Giants have to play the Cardinals and the Bucks. So you see how important coming down the stretch these games are going to be for these teams. They both, Giants is playing a first place schedule along with the Bucks playing a first place schedule. These guys have a really tough schedule coming down the stretch, and that's why I still put the Cardinals in the mix of this whole situation, because even though they're playing a first place schedule, they kind of got a lot of those tough games out of the way already. And beating the Bears, beating the Ravens allowed them, to really be ahead of schedule. They lost to the Bucks, but then they got the Giants coming up, so that will be a very important game, probably a must-see game. For me, I like the Eagles. I like the Cowboys right now. I love the Washington football team right now, and I think we need to pay attention to the Panthers because they're so relevantly unknown that I think they can still win because of that.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying, I can't wait to see what that matchup looks like when it comes down to the Bucks and the Panthers in that division. To really take a good look at that division and see what it looks like, going forward. So. Through all that, and what I'm saying right now is that there's a lot of situations that can happen over here when it comes down to first place seed. Now I do think, like you said, what we see right now in the standings is what we're looking at playoffs wise. So when I say top 7, you got to go division winners first, right? So at this point, the Giants are winning the division. The Bucks are winning their division. It looks like the Lions are winning their division with the Bears close right behind them. Then you look at the 49ers are winning their division. So that will be the 4 teams, right? So you go Giants, Bucks, Lions, 49ers right now. Let's just say they won their division. They're the 4 teams that are in. The next 3 teams, to me, who do you got? The next 3 teams that you can see getting in. Right now, if the playoffs was to start like that and we went in with the Giants, Bucks, 49ers, and Lions as the divisional winners.
Well, you'll have to put the football team in as one of the lower seeds. The Cardinals, of course. Let me see, and who? And right now, isn't the Panthers leading their division right now?
Nah, Bucks.
Oh yeah, the Bucks are. Bucks. Okay. So I would say football team, Cardinals.
I would say Bears.
And the Bears. Yeah, that would be my 7. That would be my 7 teams.
I agree with that right now. But what I like, though, we need to take a look at for sure, is the Panthers, the Cowboys, and even the Eagles coming down the stretch right now. I think these teams could push for that, not winning the division, but push for a playoff spot where they can get, the 7th seed, the 6th seed, or the 5th seed.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like I said, 49ers still have to play the Cardinals twice. They've not played yet. So that 4 could change very easily. We can see the Cardinals there, and then the 49ers, be one of the teams that's fighting for those spots. And like you said, along with the Panthers, the Bears, and I have to look at the Lions schedule to see have they played the Bears yet.
I do think they played already. I definitely think they played already. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that. But I thought they played. I thought they played once already. And, I do think some of these guys got really tough schedules. Because remember, your first place schedule players kind of sets the tone for the division as well. So if they plan
Oh
tough games,
wow.
it's gonna push you into
No
tough
sir,
games too.
they have not played yet.
They haven't played.
They don't play until week 12,
Oh wow,
and then there's a bye week for the Lions, and then he plays the Bears again coming off the bye week 14.
that's huge. That's huge down the stretch. Obviously, the NFC, when it comes down to the NFC East, all those teams are credible, and all those teams have an opportunity to make the playoffs over there too. So when you talk about the Cowboys and the Eagles right now, who would you say is the hottest team? Out of those teams that let's take the top teams out of the mix right now, and who's that up and coming team right now that we need to be paying attention to? My opinion, I think, is between the Cowboys, Eagles, and the Saints over
Um, let's see. Outside of last night's loss, the Saints have been extremely hot.
there. Right.
Um, and I don't want to put the Cowboys in there because, like I said, I think that it personally, I feel like it's unfair. They are playing well, but they're going with a young quarterback, so they're going to have their ups and downs. Um, so I would agree with the Saints. I think the Panthers are playing steady football. For them to be just here and trying to catch up with the speed of the league, and trying to get used to some of these players. Um, if last night was an indication, it looked like the Eagles were really upset last night, and they came out playing at a high level.
Yeah, because they won two. They won right before events and then right after events. They won two games to turn their fortunes around to having them at 4-3 as
Hmm.
well over here. But again, I always say, of course, Mom Duke, shit, it never fails, right? It never fails.
Never.
Never fails. What's up? Yeah, yeah. Pick up rolls. All right, I'll call you when I'm on my way. All right. I said, all right, all right. Talk to you in a little bit. All right. All right. So let's look at schedules right now. Let's go to the Cowboys schedule right now. And what they look like coming down the stretch. The Eagles
Okay,
made a
I'm on
comment.
it.
The Eagles made a comment about they were playing a lot of their tough games early, and a lot of these guys got games late. So where's the Cowboys at right now, and what their schedule look like?
Okay. Well, they got the week 8. Of course, they just lost to the football team, but week 8 they have the Seahawks. Then there's a very important game against week 9 against the 49ers.
Uh huh.
Week 10 they play the Panthers.
Mhm.
Week 11 they play the football team again.
Mm.
Week 12 the Eagles.
Mm.
They got a bye week. Then they play the Eagles again. Week
Mm.
14.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Then they got the Rams. And then they end the season week 16 versus the Dolphins.
Mm. Mm.
Week 17 versus the Bills.
Mm.
And then week 18 against the Raiders.
Yeah, so I mean, really, you got a couple games that the
That's a tough
users is a little
schedule.
questionable, but that's a very tough schedule coming down the
That's a
stretch right
very
now.
tough schedule.
Um,
That's
yeah,
asking a lot of a young
yeah,
quarterback.
especially with a rookie quarterback playing like that right now too. So
Hmm.
that's asking for a lot out of that team right now. When you look at the Saints schedule, how's their schedule and what can they do? Can they make a
All
push? I
right,
mean, they already at that match, especially over here and they're on their side. But again, a lot of these teams got some, that we're looking at as teams that's either on a rise or teams that are there. The schedules are very tough, so I do think somebody's getting in over here with 7 losses. I think that's possible because of the schedule. That a lot of these guys have coming down the stretch. So my thing is, can the Saints, push, the Panthers and the Bucks right now and get themselves? They had a shootout against the Panthers and won that game. Although you said they lost their last game they played, can they push the rest of the schedule and maybe find a way to?
Well, they can because I'm looking at their schedule now and there's some things that's going, that could possibly bounce their way. Like their game week 8 is versus the Jaguars, and the Jaguars user is going to be in and away for the next 6 days as I finish up my training. So some of these games I may be able to play. I may miss some of these games. Then he has the Falcons. Then he has a big game versus the Bucks.
Uh-huh.
Then he plays the Texans. Then the Falcons again. Then the Titans. Then he has a bye week. Then week 15 he has the Panthers.
Okay.
Week 16 he plays the Packers.
Okay.
Week 17 he's got the Bucks. And then week 18 he has the Vikings to end the season.
He got a schedule that can literally get him into the playoffs.
Yep. He's got a very favorable schedule.
He got to take care of a couple of them situations and maybe try to steal one from the Bucks. But a lot of those teams you hollered at are struggling themselves right now. So, I like his schedule. His schedule is favorable for him to be able to make the playoffs. And how would that be with young GETA Styles taking his team to the playoffs in season 2? Comes off as a great rookie year, and then keeps his team playing at a good enough level. They have the most favorable schedule. When speaking in terms of if they can get in, man, I don't see them losing more than 6 games if they really tune in and lock in and do what they got to do, because they have that type of schedule. That's unbelievable. That put pressure on guys like the Cowboys and the Eagles down the stretch.
I mean, that also puts pressure on people in his own division, because you got the Panthers that's trying to fight for a playoff spot. And if the Bucks, drop one of these games to him, and they have another unfortunate injury or something, anything can happen, and he has a favorable schedule. So I think it puts pressure on everybody,
right?
In the NFC that's vying for a playoff spot.
Yeah, definitely do, man. So I hope they stay locked in and they do their damn thing, because that would be amazing. I would love to see something like that, man, up and coming right now. I think the Giants and the Buccaneers have to. The Giants have a pressure situation. If they want to remain the number 1 seed, they have to take care of the Cardinals and then turn around and take care of the Bucks. That's the only way. The Bucks have taken care of the Cardinals already, and then the Bucks got to get over the Bears home right now. They've had that's their Achilles heel plan. They got the Bears on the schedule again. They got to get over that Bears hump, and if they could do that, then they would knock off 2 of kind of like the top 5 teams over there when it comes down to the Bears and the Cardinals. And then if they can get the Giants out of here, I think these guys can really run off. If you're looking at an undefeated team, I think right now I think the Bucks are in position. They got a tough schedule coming up, but I think they can pull some wins off over those 3 teams I talked about. Over the 2 teams I talked about, I think they're in a good situation coming to these playoffs for the first time with the number 1 seed. So again, I think there's more than 6 wins doesn't say, oh my God, these guys, this and that. It's too much football left to really determine anything. But if the playoffs did start today, they both in good situations. But I think down the stretch, what we're going to come back to is we're going to pay attention to the Bears and the Bucks playing each other, and then the Giants and the Bucks having to play each other. On the flip side of it, the Cardinals are going to be having to pull off a big win against the Giants, or the Giants got to pull off a win against the Cardinals. And we're going to see those games. They all going to face each other, and that's all going to determine what it look like down the stretch. Let me ask you this: go to the football team schedule, and let's see if they are, in a situation where maybe they can fly under the radar, or things are going to get real sticky for them. This team starts off really well every year and then turns around and start dropping games, in the latter part of the season. So where do they stand right now?
Just glance at the schedule, and in the words of Snoop Dogg, sticky, icky, icky.
Shit get real over there, huh?
Yeah, because week 8 they have the Cardinals. Week 9 they have the Eagles. Week 10 they have a bye week. Then come off the bye week they play the Cowboys. Week 12, they have the Giants. Week 13, they got the Patriots. Week 14, the Seahawks. Week 15, the Bills. Week 16, the up-and-coming 49ers. Week 17, the Giants again. And then Week 18, the Dolphins.
Oh yeah, their schedule, like this is going to determine a lot, because if they can take Doolittle and them into the latter of their season, they can pull off some big wins coming down the stretch. they gonna be in a good situation. But this is tough, man. The NFC East is playing good football amongst the four of them, but they got really brutal schedules coming down. So man, shit getting real over here for sure. Now, Guns, we talk about those teams and the up and coming teams over there. Damn, I always come out way too fast. Who's our disappointed NFC teams right now that are like that we think that should be playing? Trying to turn it around, or talk about the we're looking at the Packers at 0-6, the Rams are at 0-6, the Falcons are at 1-5, the Vikings are at 1-5, and the Seahawks are at 2-4 right now. So we talk about those teams right now. If you're just looking at those guys that are losing right now, who is the biggest disappointment to you out of all of them?
I would like to put an asterisk and remove the Vikings from this conversation.
Exactly. I'm cool with that.
They haven't had a chance to play a game yet.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Based off of the rosters when it started, I think personnel wise, I think I'm more disappointed in the Packers.
Okay.
Because to me, they did not have to get rid of Aaron Rodgers. I think that they did that a year too soon.
Mm-hmm.
And I think based off of the talent that they had, and I'm not saying that they've been a doormat, because the games that I've seen, they played 3 great quarters.
Right.
From the games that I've seen, they just hadn't been able to finish. And with that type of talent on their roster, they should be able to finish. Now, to me, if somebody gets rid of Aaron Rodgers, that means you should have been having a fire sale, and all they did was get rid of Aaron Rodgers. So I'm puzzled with my GM hat on, because if you get rid of your franchise quarterback, to me that means you're blowing it up. But those wide receivers, and a lot of those high-profile players, they're still there. So I'm a little confused about that, or maybe they thought that, with the defense that they have, you know what? I see it now. With the defense that they have and some of the veterans that they have on offense, they thought that they had enough weapons around the young quarterback, that they should be able to stay successful. And it just hadn't worked out for them.
Yeah, I think they just in a GM funk, man. I just don't think they're putting the right team together over there. They had one of the better teams on the games to start the league off with, and it wasn't really hard to just keep that together and build off of it. And what I'm saying, to put some younger pieces around that you can develop while you're still playing with a bunch of really good players over there. They do still have a good enough roster to do some things, and that's why you're seeing them playing good games for 3 quarters. But they just don't have their. I don't think they got a plan. Like, you don't see a plan when you look at this team. When you look at the pieces they drafted, the things they got over there, what they getting out of free agency, it's just like, where do you have a money plan? You got a whole bunch of veterans that's cost a lot of money over there, and you just keep picking more and more of them up out of free agency. Granted, some of them cheap as hell, but then when you're drafting, kind of like really overpower in certain positions.
My thing, bro, my thing is, if you're gonna go with a veteran team, unless you really believe in the young quarterback that they had, there were so many teams that were moving, veteran quarterbacks, where you could have done like the Giants did and just bring, first of all, you shouldn't have got rid of A-Rod. But if you're going to, there were still guys like Dak Prescott. There were still other quarterbacks that were being offered, moved around, that you could have brought in with an already established offense and a defense that's flying around, and you could have, still made your bid if you thought that you were even if you're in win now mode.
Right. I agree, bro. I think they just got to get their GM on, man. They got to get better at keeping this team put together and kind of like putting a plan together. I don't see a plan right now at all. I will go with the Falcons right now. Basically, to me, the Falcons, I think we're just waiting for them to take that next step. And so I would give them an excuse. Offensively, they had a lot of things they had to do. At the end of the day, offensively, they had, Calvin Ridley, and then the tight end, the young tight end that came out X Factor in real life, Pitts, to build
Yeah,
around,
Cal
right?
Pitts, yeah.
And then I would say,
Mhm.
you know what, give them some time. They got a young quarterback. They went and got a young running back. I like the line. I thought they addressed the receiver position. They really got weapons around that young quarterback. I wasn't disappointed in that line. I thought they had a pretty solid line as well. They got better on the back end in their secondary as well. This draft they grabbed a linebacker or two. They did some things over here. But my major problem with the Falcons is this: when you got the Saints in your same division that tanked the whole first year, put two good draft classes together, did some GM things, and got that team, and they got them playing really well. Now, granted, they got 2 wins, 1 win more than the Falcons right now. But I just think that they had it. They need to take that next step. We're not seeing it yet. Like, they got a monster of a running back over there, and they got a kid named Sidney Cake over there at quarterback. That's just should be lights out, and playing better versus him, having the most interceptions in the league right now. And it's almost the same story. We're waiting to see uh greatness come out of this roster, because if you go to their roster right now, man, it's just start at the quarterback position and stop at the tight end position, and then you tell me what they got over there, and if they can't match up and play with anybody with the on paper with the talent they got over there. That's the first thing,
Take a
right?
look. Threaten me with a good time. Let's take a look. All right. Oh yeah, so we got 60K dog quarterback.
I mean, they got the quarterback in the second season. He's a dog. We waiting for him to take the next step, right? That's the first thing. And honestly, with the running back over there, the big running back Dion McCoy, I think he's a back that could take the pressure off Sidney Cakes. Like, we thought, they started off, and they was giving him a lot of carries in a couple of games that guys that played him was speaking on him, like, yeah, he running that ball with that guy, right? And then it's like, all right, well, Sidney Cake lead the league in interceptions right now. So, like, when are we going to take that next step with that balance? You leave the running back. I just spoke about the running back, 240-pound monster over there with size and speed, and really runs very, very hard. He can literally control a ball game for you. Then you go to the weapons at the receiver position, right? Look at the receivers. Is Calvin Ridley still there? They drafted 2 receivers in the first draft class that are dogs. And they got the weapons. I mean, they got multiple receivers over there. They can get the football too. The tight end is better than, and then it's not only just the number 1 tight end. They have 2 tight ends, so they can really do a lot with Kyle Pitts on the field. They can move him around because they have a solid number 2 tight end over there. And then when it comes down to their protection, I'm not mad at the protection. I don't think they have a bad offensive line at all. So to me, they're in place to be able to take that next step. So I just think we want to see. We're just waiting. We're waiting, and we want to see the results. And I think this is one of those teams that's built really well. And once they get those guys to develop, that's the second step: getting the athletes and the guys that look good on paper, then getting them to react and play how they look. And until he can get them to that aspect, then I think he'll take the next step. But this is the team to me that's the most disappointing right now. And mainly I say this because of how well I think the Saints has transitioned that fast with the youth he got over there. And he got, got two receivers that are in the top 10. Tight end that's in the top 10. He got a tight end that's open. I'm not going to say he's playing like Bryce Moss did the year before, but if you think about tight ends that came in this year's draft, he's the one that's playing at a high level right now. Double-digit touchdowns already. He's balling. So they got weapons and they're using them. They got a running back in Nasir who's playing pretty solid for them. I mean, he made them. That running back is the starter over there now. So Alvin Kamara lost his job to that kid, and Jada Styles is he's growing. So if you get those are the top two quarterbacks that went in the first draft class, and Jada Styles was the number 1 quarterback on the board. He went to the Saints, and at the end of the day, he is playing at a high level, and we're just waiting to see Sidney Cake take that next step. Do you think the problem is with Sidney Cake or the offensive scheme they have, and with Sidney Cake? What's the problem over there? Why can't it transition and look look good over there because that offense on paper is a really good offense on paper. They look good over there. Like it's not a person that would come in and take this team and wouldn't be looking at that roster and the offense and be like, oh my God, let's go. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Have we watched any games?
I know they saying Cake
This,
just had the best game of his career. So what happened in that last game?
oh, did he?
Yeah, that's what the Vikings did. They had a shootout. It was like 84-60 or something like that. They had a shootout, and they said Cake had the best game of his career in that game.
Okay, so at this point, I'm starting to wonder. Okay, so if it's not, is it not quarterback play? You know, is it a scheme fit? What are they doing defensively? Let me take a look at their record. I want to see like how many points are they giving up. Let's see if we can try to maybe figure it out.
And while you do that, I'm gonna chase stats real fast. I'm gonna go to their team as stats.
All right, here we go. Okay.
Oh my God. I mean, I don't think it's the best game when you threw one touchdown more than interceptions, but he threw 753 yards in the Vikings game. Sidney Cake went dummies yard-wise, 118.7, but he threw 6 picks. He was only sacked twice. He was 32. I mean, 32 for 40 in this game. They was really in a shootout. This shit ridiculous. Oh my God.
So just looking at the schedule is defense.
Comes down to
they're
defense.
giving up way too many points. You know, like they gave up 48 points week 1 to the football team. They gave up 30 points to the Colts. They gave up a burger to the Buccaneers. Matter of fact, they gave up a burger with cheese to the Buccaneers. They gave up a 45 burger to the Bills. No, they won. They beat the Bills. They put up 45.
Yep.
Excuse me. Then they gave up a burger with cheese to the Lions.
And then it was
Yeah,
like,
then I don't know what. Oh, wait a minute. The Vikings played.
yeah, they played that game. That's what I'm saying. That's why the Vikings said he had a career day. Yards wise, he damn near threw 1,000 yards out that bitch. But he threw 7 touchdowns, but then 6 picks doesn't really. It kind of turns me off when I see 7 touchdowns and 6 picks. Still throwing, and this is why 84 points is put on the board because you still throwing a lot of picks at a high level. Now, Dion Mccoy had 13 carries, only 42 yards. He was shut on the ground, 3.2. The game before that, he had 14 carries for 136, 9.7, 2 touchdowns. You know, then he had 23 carries for 81 yards, 17 for 67 against the Bucks, 20 carries against the Colts, 92 yards, and then against the football team at 31. Now, I'll go all the way down to that because you can see this running back can carry the ball at a high volume. 31, you give him 31 carries, 188, 6.1 yards to carry, 3 touchdowns. He wore down. He wear you down. That's what he do. And, you know, didn't get, you know, wasn't too shabby, but 4.6 yards to carry. I'm cool with that against the Colts. The Bucks, you know, they got a really good defense, stingy defense over there. 3.9 linebackers are really fast. They got the type of team that can stop this guy from getting going. You know, he's a big back that need to get to second and third level to really cause a problem. And if you catch him before he gets started, is a problem there. And I think the Bucks got the type of linebackers that can do that. Then you look at the Bills game, 23 carries, 81 yards. He's still on that 3.5 yards, somewhere between 3 yards a carry. And then he explodes for 9-7, but touches the ball 14 times and a 56-20 loss. And if you go back to the quarterback in that game, you see the same situation happen over and over again in these games. Sidney Cake is just throwing too many interceptions, bro. So is that a scheme thing?
Yeah, I don't know if he's. I would love to see some of the footage. Like, is he trying to force it to certain people? You know, is he?
Yes, ma'am.
Building a stat.
Week 1 football team, 27.4 QB rating, 201 yards, no touchdown, 7 picks. Against the Colts, he had a 62.7 QB rating, no touchdowns, 2 picks. Against the Bucks, he had a 62.9 rating, 2 touchdowns, 4 picks. Now the Bills, this is the game where I would say this is the best game of his career. 151.3 QB rating, 249 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Really good game. He wasn't even sacked in that game. Then you come
Yeah.
back week 5 against the Lions, 364 yards, 1 touchdown, 7 picks, and then you go bonkers yards wise. Nobody stopping nobody out there except for the run game, and then you got 118.7 QB rating for 753, 7 touchdowns, but he threw 6 picks. So you look at the turnovers, and the turnovers are the reason why you're seeing high scores. When they do lose, they're losing by 20 or more because of the high volume of interceptions and turnovers they having right now. So to me, again, I just think the coach does what he do, and he do it how he want to do it. But I think with a running back like Dion McCoy back there, he can literally turn those interceptions down for you if you just let him be your bell cow. Now you don't have to play boring football and give him 30 a game, but what did you draft that type of running back for? Not to give him the fucking ball 25 to 30 times a game. Just have to do it because
Right.
obviously your defense can't stop anybody at all, and a lot of that is because momentum is on the other team's side. 90% of the time when you play somebody, they got the momentum because they're turning you over, and it makes it harder for your defense to stop anybody, especially with the scheme that he runs over there. It's hard to stop anybody when you're turning the ball over constantly. So I think McCoy, the running back Dion McCoy, is the guy that can really change this entire fate of the Falcons team and have these guys, turning their whole shitter situation around. They gotta want to do it though, right? I would think that defensively the scheme's not matching up, maybe offensively either, but there's some type of common ground because what we do know is Sidney Cate can play in this league, right?
Oh, absolutely. Without question.
I don't know. They got to figure it out, man, because it's not, his division is closing around him. The Panthers have a coach now, and they have a really good coach over there. And the Saints is playing really good football and GMing his ass off right now. So they're in a situation where they got to get it together. They have the team to do it though. I like their team on paper. On both sides of the ball, I think they're really solid on both sides of the ball. All right, so that's our disappointing team. I jumped out of where I wanted to stay at right now, man. MVP front runners right now in the NFC. We're gonna stay there. Um, when you look at players over here right now, who do you think though coming out of the NFC right now? We'll start at the quarterback position, and what I'll do is I'll go to the NFC, and we'll start at quarterback right now. Deshaun Watson is back to playing lights out. 2,500. Let's just go by position and not MVP, but just by position. Who you think is the best player at that position in the NFC right now. So Deshaun Watson, 2,535 yards, 27 touchdowns, 19 interceptions. He's back up to 68% completion percentage. He was at 70 last year. 362 yards a game right now on 12.5 yards per average. He's been sacked 16 times. The next quarterback with 2,000 yards is GETA Styles. So he's at 2,129. 20 touchdowns, 18 picks, 64%, 304 yards a game, 12 yards a play. He's been sacked 23 times. Then there's yards wise is Sidney Cate, but the problem with him is 2019 he has 14 touchdowns, 26 interceptions. He's at 65% and he's averaging 336.5 yards a game with only 11 sacks. But the interceptions to touchdown ratio is terrible. Jerry Bradshaw, 1917. This guy's 20 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 75%. 319 right now. He's averaging 320 yards a game. Only been sacked 9 times. He's kind of picking up where Tom Brady left off. Um, and then I'll say Kyler Murray. You got to go to Fields. You got to go to Minor. We'll keep going down, but I'm gonna stop at Minor for right now. Out of those quarterbacks right now, who's the best quarterback over here right now?
That's tough. Wow. I like young Jada, man.
GETA Styles.
Cause yeah, I like young Jada because when you start talking about out of those quarterbacks now, none of those quarterbacks are my MVP right now.
Right.
I just want to make that clear. But when I look at what quarterback has had the greatest impact on their team. It's been Jada Styles. I mean, nobody was talking about the Saints. Fans had paper bags on their head the year before Jada got there.
Yeah.
And now uh, Drinks are flying all over the place.
Mardi
The
Gras
total number.
every Sunday.
Yeah,
Mardi Gras, right? They wilding out there right now. They doing their damn
the
thing, and they
arrest
got the
rates
rolling
are
rally
up.
offense. They got everybody walking around the stadium with their rolling rally shirts on. Yeah, everything's about Jada Styles. The ticket sales went up. The jersey sales went up. The buzz around that whole city is up right now. So I like that. And I was going to say the same thing for Jerry Bradshaw, but I think it's the system for Jerry Bradshaw. Um, I think without a Jada Styles, we wouldn't be talking about the Saints right now. But without a Jerry Bradshaw, we would be talking about the Bucks. And I would say that would be the difference between, those two
Right.
young gunners right now.
Absolutely.
But again, Deshaun Watson had a rough start, and then all of a sudden he's looking like Deshaun Watson again. So they got some guys over here. And then Kyler Murray at the same time, 18 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 65%. And Kyler Murray starting to become a dual threat over here for the Cardinals as well. So I like him, but we seen see him come back down to earth a little bit now. Now that he's getting games, Kyler Murray's playing a little bit more efficient. 65%, 297 and a half right now. You would think, as he, Peyton Manning's their offensive coordinator, and we know him to fling the ball. But I think he's won a Super Bowl and he's winning more games now because he's balancing out what Kyler Murray can do. Remember, we know this offense as the Fast and Furious raid, right? And that furious part was the Kyler Murray factor of being a dual threat. I've seen it personally playing him. I've seen it, you know what I'm saying? And I'm seeing that he has no problem taking off with Kyler Murray or even incorporating him into their offense with run design, run plays for him. And I think that takes him to the next step. But they're taking a step back the way the way his yards and numbers is looking. They're taking that step back, and I think they're a little bit more efficient now. Kyler Murray had an interception problem for the first 2 seasons. Although he threw touchdowns out of this world, he had an interception problem. I think it's down now, 7, 18. At this time point last year, he had down there 25 interceptions 2 years in a row. So he's a little bit more efficient right now. And I just think Justin Fields, bro, he's just a quiet, Super Bowl winner over there. Like, he does, he plays at a high level, and we just ignore it because I guess we don't see it enough or what. But he just flies under the radar. But he's a top tier guy over there. And then another thing, the Lions, we keep saying they ahead of schedule and all that, but is that because of the quarterback, Freddie Minor?
I I think well, not as much as like a Jada Styles, because they also had DeAndre Swift,
Hmm.
and they had a consistent run game along with elevated quarterback play. So I would say yes, Minor has a lot to do with where they are, but not with as much impact as a Jada Styles.
He's more part of the process, right? He's more part of the process. Jada Styles literally has changed the culture in New Orleans. With 2-5 team running around here with the energy of this team right now, man. Their energy is up, bro. Like, he's literally the face of New Orleans right now, man. And a lot's going to ride on how he finishes the season record wise, and I think they're gonna surprise some guys. I think they got the favorable schedule to surprise some guys. So you like Jada Styles as the NFC quarterback right now, right?
Yeah, and sometimes your fan base tells the whole story. I mean, like I watch a Saints game. I'm seeing Jada Styles, jerseys all over the place.
All over the place. Yeah.
I watched the Lions play. I saw a mixture of DeAndre Swift and the quarterback. So it was kind of a mixed bag.
Hmm.
So even the fans are indicating that even through their fandom that their team is balanced.
No
And
doubt.
that's not a shot at the Lions at all. That's a testament.
All right, so here we go. Rushing right now with the running backs right now. So you got Mostert leading the NFC and the league actually in rushing yards right now with 951 yards. Antonio Gibson is number 2 with 863. Ronald Jones is 745. Now let's go back to that. Mostert's averaging 7 yards a carry right now. 12 touchdowns. He averaging 59 yards a game pretty much. Only 2 fumbles on the season. Gibson is sitting at 143.8, so he's averaging 144. Averaging 8.5 yards a carry right now. Ronald Jones with 116 carries with 745, 6.4, 13 rushing touchdowns right now. Just in those 3 backs alone right now, We getting good play out of him right now. I think Raheem Mostert is a surprise back. The 49ers look like, they're going at attacking their team for what they're built to do, which is run the football. And he's playing pretty good right now. So we're looking at. He said, "Don't even pretend like running backs is better than Ronald Jones. They are right now. Antonio Gibson's better than him. Raheem Mostert is playing better than him right now. Both of them. His activity is, I would think he would be, somewhere between 7.5 yards a carry, 8 yards a carry, to be talking at work. We know he's the MVP of the league, and we know he sells nothing but jerseys, and he's the guy over there. But when we talk about the running backs over here, who do you like, Shoguns, out of these guys up there? When you look at the top, like damn near 10, Mostert, Gibson, Jones, Swift, Barkley, Cummings, and Nasir Dale for the Saints.
I mean, good job. I mean, that's Ooh. That's tough, bro. I mean, now Gibson jumps off the paper at me, but it's for different reasons. It's because that was one of the running backs I didn't think was going to be there. So the fact that a guy that came out of college playing receiver now is a running back in NFL, I didn't think that he would be mentioned with the likes of a two-time MVP and Ronald Jones. A Saquon Barkley, Raheem Mostert. I didn't think he would be mentioned. So I'm impressed that he's there. But like I said, until somebody takes the MVP off the MVP, my answer is always the MVP, Ronald Jones.
All right, definitely. I'm not discrediting Ronald Jones right now, but when you look at that's been a steady force in the league. Ronald Jones, is he the best running back in the league? He's the MVP 2 years in a row. We get that right now, but I like the up and coming guys and the guys that are up here right now. Mostert, you got to give him credit, bro. He is balling with that guy right now, and he's playing at a high level. And we knew the Washington football team had a dog at it in their backfield. They just wasn't giving him the football. Now that they are, I mean, he has 101 carries. He's balling. He's almost averaging 9 yards a carry, down there 10 yards a carry. That's good. That's good football right now. So I wouldn't say Ronald Jones is the best running back in the NFC this season. I wouldn't say that right now. I would really like to give it to Antonio Gibson right now. Although Ronald is still Ronald at the end of the day. I mean, come on, bro. We watched the Cardinals game and Ronald Jones, the vision, the elusiveness we saw that running back run with. He's that guy. We know that, right? But right now, looking at what we're looking at right now, I can't give it to him.
I know this is not a debate, but he had a flat tire for a game, and look where he is amongst those other running backs. That's why I still
100%. I agree with that. I agree with that too.
If you put that in there, he will be right at the top.
All right, so let me ask you: is Ronald Jones the best running back this year in the NFC?
In the NFC thus far, but it's not by the same margin that it was before.
All right, I can roll with that. My favorite over here right now is Antonio Gibson. I really like what he's doing this year, man. 8.5 yards a carry, 10 touchdowns, pretty solid. And I think he's really part of the force of why they have one loss right now. They're giving him the ball and they let him their best player, in my opinion, their best player on their team, do some good shit for him right now. And then Mostert, the oldest running back on this list right now, still got that speed, man. He hasn't really slowed down at all. And we're starting to see the 49ers get him active and get involved with him. 7 yards to carry, 12 touchdowns right now. When you look at the touchdown guys who see in the end zone at a high level right now, you're looking at Jones and Nasir Dale at 13. Then it's Mostert at 12. And Gibson at 10 right now. So you're going with you're going with Ronald Jones is still the best running back in the NFC. I think Antonio Gibson is the best this season at this point right now. But it's still a long season left and a lot of football left to be played right now. Let's go to the wide receivers over here. And we're going to look at two categories. We're going to look at the catches. And Jalen Darden has 42 catches. Devontae Smith, 39. Demir Burns, the number 2 receiver for the Saints, has 35 catches. Tight end Patrick Burner with 32. Kyle Pitts with 32. D-Hop with 32. And then the number 1 receiver for the Saints with 32. As you see, we see the Saints with 2 dogs up here, catches wise. And we look at yards and see what they're doing yards wise. We're going to D-Hop with 1,000 already. He's the only receiver on the side with 1,000 yards right now. Hudson got 850. Metcalf 766. The tight end Quincy was 661. Kyle Pitts was 651. We got 2 tight ends up here putting in work right now. My question is DeAndre Hopkins showing he's the best receiver in the NFC?
DeAndre Hopkins is being DeAndre Hopkins, so absolutely. I mean, he's standing on top of the mountain and he's looking down. He was like, "Come and get me."
Right. I mean, 1,000 yards already. This guy balling, so, and you know this is the Eagles guy. So it's almost like the DK Metcalf situation. You know they're the guys, and they're still producing, man. And people draw coverage to them, and they still producing. Completely. All right, so not to take notice to the 2 tight ends over here. I like those guys. They're playing pretty solid as well. They're doing their thing right now. You go to touchdowns, and we're looking at D-Hop with 11 and Hudson with 11 for the Saints. Metcalf with 10, and we got a whole host of 7s going down right now. But we're both agreeing that DeAndre Hopkins is the guy right now in the NFC at the receiver position, right?
Absolutely.
All right, no doubt. All right, so I'm going to go to defense, and we're just going to look at the guys that's tackling. I'm not going to say who's the best. We're just going to look at the tackles real fast over here. Jamin Davis with 58 tackles. Young rookie Ty Herbert for the Lions with 56. And then you got Nick Strickland in second-year safety with 48. My favorite stat, tackle for loss. Over here, you see who's doing it at a high level. You got Thad Carmichael, the young defensive end, over here with 11. Michael Parsons, bro. Is Michael Parsons underrated?
Michael Parsons has he's not escaped the radar. The only time he was underrated was his rookie season in this league.
Okay.
He's continued to play at a high level ever since we started it. Ever since Game of Thrones started.
No doubt. All right, so man, I feel where you're coming from. I can agree with that as well. What I do know is this. I do know. I think it's crazy because he's putting up the numbers. He gets to the quarterback a whole lot. He's the jack of all trades at the linebacker level because he can put his hand in the dirt. He can play middle linebacker. He can cover, and he can get to the quarterback. And he's a tackling machine at that too. He's a dog, bro. And like at the point that he's not already up to a superstar or X factor is mind-boggling. He's still only a star right now. And he's doing that as a star right now. That tells you exactly what I've been saying for the last couple of days for all these guys. I'm like, look at these superstars. They're Team OP, blah, blah, blah. Those guys aren't better than half of these stars running around right now. Like, you either listen, play your games and stop bitching and understand what this shit really about this right now, man. That shit not really as effective as you think it is, because look what Michael Parsons is doing. So every time there's a that type of situation is always something to counter that, and we always got proof to it because look what he's doing at a high level too, man. 11 tackle for loss, 7.5 sacks right now. He'll, before it's all said and done, he'll have interceptions and all that shit. I like young rookie Mello Horn, man. He was the talk of the draft. He got 9 tackle for loss, 2 sacks right now, balling out right now. When you go look at the sack leaders over here, Chase Young is doing it at a high level, 10. You got Aziz over here, 8.5, and Michael Parsons, 7.5, and young Derek Ryans for the Falcons was 7. The number 1 pick in the draft, 6.5, and then Josh Cannon, another rookie DN, with 6.5. So these guys, you got some guys over here that you need to pay attention to.
Oh, absolutely. Talking about Chase Young is playing at a high level. That's like saying well, water is wet.
all right.
I was always playing at a high level. I think this dude was born playing at a high level.
All good. And hard to stop his ass too. And he just went up to X Factor last game.
Yeah, he did. Yep, sure did.
And he's the guy on the X Factor that's using all his X Factor abilities. Because he's an 85 or above. You know what I'm saying? He's still young.
Yeah.
Still young. Now, in real life, did he tear his ACL?
Yes, he did.
Oh, God. How many ACL tears have we seen in real life this year?
Yeah, it's been a lot.
All right, so let me keep looking on this thing. trying to figure it out. All right, so again, Von Teller leads the whole NFC with 7 interceptions right now. My player, Craig Williams, has 6. The young rookie, Kai Foe, sitting at 6'3", 217 with 5. Antoine Brooks, man, I mean, this is a guy that, you know, nobody would expect to be doing anything, but he's balling. He's doing a good job with scheming in that Washington football team's defense. But the top 3 guys interceptions, Von Teller, he's been pushing since last year as the best rookie linebacker in the league. And he has a case for it. And now this year with 7 interceptions, there's the man in the middle. When most guys putting their safety subs down there to do it, he's doing it with a true middle linebacker. So that just explains how good of a cover guy he actually really is. And then, you know, second year safety Greg Williams is playing very well as well. And you know, that secondary is starting to, you know, become something special over there for the Bucks right now. And then Kai Foe, bro, you see it. Like, you see some of these guys, and then you get the names that we've been used to seeing. Trayvon Diggs been the man since year 1. Who that? Jerry Jacobs been doing this shit since years 1. And you got the veteran Marcus Peters with 4 right now, saying, "There's still this is not a complete young man's game right now. I'm a veteran and I make plays." So I like what's going on over here. With the defensive players that we just looked at over here in the NFC right now, man. The NFC got it going on right now. You know, they're the 2-time Super Bowl conference. And you know, guys are still the only undefeated teams left over there is them. They balling right now, man. When you look at impact defensive players, right? And I'm looking at interceptions right now. How do I? All right, let's do it like this. Let's go to tackles. And you see Jamin Davis with 58 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and 3 interceptions at the middle linebacker right now, man in the middle right now. You wouldn't look at Jamin Davis and say he's the anchor of this defense, right? Not with a Montez Sweat and a Chase Young running around, right? It's hard to say that.
Right.
All right, so the Lions hit 2 years in a row on linebackers. You know, they had the number 1 pick drafted, the dude from Florida State who's a monster, right? But then Ty Herbert comes in the middle and just really is playing at 56 tackles right now, 5 tackles for loss, a half a sack in the pick right now, 6'4". With this young Lions team, is it safe to say that this might be the anchor of their defense right now? Even though, you know, the number 1 pick is there and they building around him, but he's getting all the success right now with the numbers wise. Looks like he's the guy. You know, you still got Jerry. Nah, I can't give it to him yet. I still think Jerry Who Dat is still that guy. Who that? Yeah, Jerry Jacobs is still the guy over there, right? All right, so not tackle for loss, it's sacks. When you got guys getting to the quarterback, Chase Young, you got Azeez Ojulari. I think we need to make sure we mention this guy's name as one of the better pass rushers in the league because he's been doing it for 2 straight years. I think one more season, if he can get double digits, he'll start to explode into that guy that we talk about as a superstar in this league. Michael Parsons is the man over here. I don't think there's a, you know, with that secondary now and what homeboy been doing already, Diggs. I still think Michael Parsons is the reason why you build your defense around him, and he's the anchor of their Cowboys defense. Would you agree or disagree with that?
No, I would agree with that.
All right, and then obviously Von Teller is the anchor of the Giants defense. He's been that 2 years in a row, and the reason I like him is because he make big plays in the big time players, big time plays in big time moments, and he's done that in his playoff games. He end games. He won the division with an interception. He's ended guys' playoff runs with interceptions with this guy. So he's doing a pretty good job with this kid, and I think he is, you know, the second coming of Lawrence Teller right now. Von Teller over there balling like that. All right, fellas, listen. Obviously, man, we talked about the shit we wanted to talk about, the NFC. Our next podcast show, we're gonna go dive into the AFC and what's going on over there. You dig? We're gonna talk about it, see what's happening, and enjoy that shit right now. And here's the franchise guru with the best co-host in the world, Show Gizzy, Show Guns, pop at you, talk that shit. He be spitting them bars though. We ain't debate. He been winning. He like 2-0 in the debates right now. I'm gonna get his ass though. We coming.
Bars.
Holla at me. Bars.
Holla.